Welcome to Be a Better Techie. Now today we'll discuss about the Spring Bean Factory Post Processor. Okay. In the previous session we discussed about the Bean Post Processor. Okay. What are the methods available? That information we discussed in the previous session. Just watch that video here. Okay. And now today session will go to what is BeanFactory Post Processor. Okay, and how many ways we can do our BeanFactory post processing concept. We are having Spring specific property placeholder configurer and the BeanFactory post processor. This is user defined. We'll see examples and all. Okay, before navigating to the examples, what is BeanFactory post processor? Means whenever IOC container is ready with the Bean definitions, if we want to modify or change the in-memory metadata of the IOC container at a runtime, then we need to go for the BeanFactory post processor. Okay, in which cases the in-memory metadata may change, or at a runtime how it will be changing means, suppose we are having some use cases. If we take some use cases means, suppose in the development environment we are having different environments like QA environment, UAT and production environment. Each environment we may have different databases. For testing we are having different database, and for actual UAT and production it may be differ. So each environment, whatever the database properties we are configuring for our applications, it may change. So whenever the code is deployed to test environment, that time we no need to modify the database property values inside the property files, because as human intervention is there, there may be chances errors may occur. So in that use case we may go for the BeanFactory post processor. And some other use case like if we are having database password, right? If we are directly exposing that database password in any of the place like value, then that is difficult to get the, or at the time of users whoever seen directly they can able to see the values. So in that case what we need to do, we need to encrypt that database passwords, or not any passwords, we need to store into the system. So at the time of reading and at the time of processing at a runtime, we need to convert that particular database value, encrypted value, decrypted format, then we need to give the decrypted value for further processing. So then only our application will connect to the database. This is one more scenario. Okay. Well, we'll see some examples. We can get some idea. So I created some of the applications well in advance. So if I do the development right now, it will take time. So I prepared some classes. Let me explain how this is going to be. First we start with the BeanFactory post processor. Okay, I will take one example like hotel management. For this, suppose I am having one hotel. In this hotel we are having the reception. So whenever new customer will comes for check-in into any rooms, right, then he will goes to the receptionist. That time based on the instance we need to wish the customer. Okay, I'll take that example, and I'll take one more example for the property placeholder configurer as well. Okay, suppose in my hotel I am having one hotel class. In this class I am having one variable, private variable, here default variable, and this variable I am doing setter injection. Okay, at the time of creating bean for this hotel, I need to provide this welcome note value. Okay, then based on this value we are printing that value as output. This is simple class. Okay, now I'll try to do some test on this one. Okay, so here I'm going with the application context IOC content. As we are aware, application context is eager loading, so whatever beans we are providing inside the application context, it will create objects, then it will provide whenever we are asking to container. Okay, I'll open this as well. This is simple bean definition I provided in the application context.xml. This is the class, and as I am having one setter, I am providing that setter value welcome note and value as good morning. This is the bean I am having. So now I have one hotel class and this is application context. Hope we are aware how to create the Maven project directory structure in STSID. If you are not aware, just go through our previous video. Okay, just here I am having two packages, one is for test and another one is for beans, and one package for commons application.context.xml. Okay, now here I am going to run this test class. I created object for my IOC, then my IOC is ready with all of my beans. Now I am asking the IOC container give me the hotel bean. Here when I try, then on top of bean I am just calling the wish customer message. So I am running this application, welcome customer, good morning. So I provided from the application context good morning, so it is printed the good morning. Now with the help of BeanFactoryPostProcessor, what we need to do at a runtime, we need to modify this in-memory metadata. How can we do that part? Means as it is Spring we are using, we need to either extend or implements from the Spring specific classes. Okay, in this case I am implements the BeanFactoryPostProcessor. So when I implemented this hotel BeanFactoryPostProcessor, then we need to override one method, that is PostProcessBeanFactory. Okay, in this PostProcessBeanFactory, BeanFactory as the, so in case of here configurable listable BeanFactory is the input parameter for this PostProcessBeanFactory method. So once if I am having the BeanFactory, then from BeanFactory we need to get the required bean. Once we got the bean definition, so BeanFactory dot get bean definition, whichever bean we want to modify properties, that bean definition we need to get and store inside the bean definition variable. Once we got the bean definition variable, then from that object we need to get the property values. It may get the list of properties that we need to store in the mutable property values. As it contains a list of properties, right? In my case I am having only one property, welcome note, so I will get only one property, welcome note. So in that welcome note, add property value, I am changing here whichever values we need. Instead of configuration value, we can override that value and we can provide the respective value here. Okay, once my hotel BeanFactoryPostProcessor is ready, then we need to configure this particular class as a bean inside the application context, then only application context.xml, then only my container is aware this class is having some special behavior. It's not a normal class. So by seeing this, once the object is created, instead of sending this value as input, it will send the BeanFactory post processor logic. Okay. Okay, this is post processor. Okay. Okay, this is procession. Fine. Or we need to place. Now when I run this one with this modification, sorry, I need to navigate to the test class. See, previously we are getting good morning message. Now Java application. Now we are getting good afternoon. So at a runtime, the in-memory metadata will be modified because of this BeanFactory post process. Okay, this is one example. As you observed here I am writing my own custom BeanFactory post process, but Spring is provided one more. There are other BeanFactory post processor as well. What are those means? Those are nothing but PropertyPlaceholderConfigurer. This is Spring specific class, so we no need to do anywhere implements and all. We will consider another example. Okay, now we'll be continuing the second use case. Okay, the use case will be second. Means DB properties, how based on environment, how the database values can be changed at a runtime or at a runtime in memory metadata. Okay, that we can check in the through the property placeholder configurator. Okay. Okay, we are continuing now. As you are aware, based on different environment, we are having different database values, right? Now I created one bean class, that is DB connection manager, and I am having one test class for this as well. This is the test class, and the same values I configured in the application context.xml. I'll explain how the code flow is present. See, in case of DB connection manager, we are having different databases, so we are not sure what the connection values we are providing. Assume these are the some properties present in my class: driver class name, URL, username and password. Okay, then I provided this value setters. See here, setter values means just for testing purpose I am going with the setter injection, but in real time it may not be setter, it may be constructor, because setter injection is not mandatory. But why I am going means, in case of constructor injection we need to follow the order. So to avoid that confusion, now I am going with the setter injection, and I am having one toString method. This is a simple class with properties and some setters. Okay. Now I am having, this is the test class. Before navigating to the test class, let me show the properties as well. Initially I will execute without any BeanFactory post process. Okay. Yes, this is the one. As of now I am not configured anything. Just I will run this example. Means how, see, this is the bean definition, this is the bean, and my bean having these properties. I am doing this to setter injection. The values normally means without dollar flower braces we are providing, but here I am providing these values just to read the property placeholders. So without property placeholders, how this will be working, we will see. And this is the test class. Hope we are aware how the functionality is going on. We need to create the BeanFactory object initially. For BeanFactory object creation, we need the bean definition reader. Once the bean definition reader is created with the help of BeanFactory, then I need to load the bean definitions by using the new class path resource. This is my application context.xml. I provided this is the location. Now my BeanFactory is ready with the application context.xml information. Okay, and this point, let me comment this part. Just I will ask the container only the bean name whichever we are having. Okay, database connection, just I am asking the IOC container give me the DB connection manager, then just I am printing that object. Okay, let me print this results once, then how we need to apply the BeanFactory post process for this one we'll see. If you see here, driver class name is coming instead of name, the flower braces means directly the value we are injecting inside the bean. Okay, now we'll see how the property placeholder configurer will be helpful at runtime, how to change the in-memory metadata. Now there is, in the previous example, we implemented our class from the BeanFactory post process, but here the property placeholder configurer is another Spring specific class. So just we need to declare this as a bean. Yes, we need to declare this as a bean, but for this bean there is one setter injection location. In this location we need to provide where our database properties will be present. See, if we are using something machine specific path, then we need to provide this by using file colon C drive testdb.properties. Where it will be present? It will be present under C testdb.db.properties. Or if we want our DB properties to be present inside the class path location of this project, assume here also I provided the database properties, but here this is devdb, but in case of file I provided the testdb.properties. Let me open the database properties. If you see here, this property file contains the driver class, URL, username and password. Make sure these values should be matched with this application context dollar inside the dollar symbols. Okay, we are reading. Now in this case I just created one bean, that is a Spring specific bean, and I provided some name. As this name we are providing location as one setter injection and the values I am providing. In case if I want to read from the class path specific properties, then this is the way of reading the class path colon, we need to provide the package name followed by database properties name. Now I declared my application context.xml, my bean and the Spring specific property placeholder configurer, and let me run this test class. But before running test class, we need to update our BeanFactory. Hey BeanFactory, there is BeanFactory post processor is available inside your configuration. So based on runtime, you just modify these values. For that, what we need to do, we are just getting that bean, whichever the spring specific bean, right? That bean we need to get it by using how, just by asking the bean factory dot get bean of bean factory post processor. Okay. Okay, I want to show one more thing to you guys. Where is this properties? Yeah, if you see the property placeholder configurer, right? Internally, it implements bean factory post processor. So here we are using the interface reference. Okay. Now get bean of property placeholder configurer, then this is the my interface reference. Once I got the post processor, then I am setting by using this method post process bean factory. Whatever bean factory present, right, that bean factory information I am providing to this bean factory processor. So whenever the bean we are asking, that time it will change the in-memory or modify the in-memory metadata. Now let me execute this class once. This is just I am getting the DB connection bean, okay, connection manager bean, run as Java application. Yeah, if you see, previously we are getting the dollar symbol flower basis, but now we are getting MySQL specific database values. From where? If you see here, I provided this is the path testdb.properties. Okay. Testdb. Here for testers, maybe MySQL is using. Assume in case of developers mission, they are using the dev database, but we can't go and modify that dev database username and credentials. It's not the suggestible way. So what we need to do, we need to just change this value in the configuration level. Instead of taking from the file location, just take it from the class path location of this file. So I'm having variable location and I am providing value class path. Go and look into this class path. This is the package present. Navigate to this package and read these properties and inject the property values inside these values. Okay. Now I modified my application.context file and let me run with my test class. As Java application. Yeah. Now if you see, developers are using Oracle database. So at runtime, my IOC container is able to read these values based on this property placeholder configurer. Okay, thank you.